Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. As most of you know, I love me some bright, colorful watches. Oh wait. Pretty much my entire collection is comprised of black dial watches, white dial watches, and silver dial watches, and pretty much all of those are on black leather straps, or black rubber straps, or silver bracelets. But tonight's video of Watch News is all about color. Bright, whimsical color, all kinds of color. So let us begin. Oh yeah, Watch News. The first article I have comes to us from Time and Tide Watches, and this is an interview with the founder of Underdog. The person who interviewed him is Andrew McCutcheon, and the founder of the brand is Richard Benck. And here's some excerpts of that interview. Describe Studio Underdog in 3 words only. And his answer was quality, playfulness, and color. Well, that's perfect for tonight's video. How many years have you been going? 3 years, so it's still an infant in the big, scary watch world. How long did it take you to hit your Kickstarter target? Let's go back in time. Oh, that's a good question. I think it was fairly quick for the initial target I'd set. I think it was done within an hour. And you know this one, what was your most successful sales window yet? When we launched the O2 series, I wasn't really sure how that would be received, but it was our record. We had a 9-hour sales window for it, and we did over 2,500 watches, which is incredible. For a value of, I think we hit 1.8 million, and that's in British pounds, in sales for that window, which is, again, incredible. It goes to show the love for this little passion project of mine. And the last little bit of excerpt that I have from this interview is, if your dreams come true, where is Studio Underdog in 5 years from today? And the answer, I don't really know what I'm doing tomorrow. 5 years' time, absolutely not a clue. In all seriousness, I'm looking at the next 12 months. Some really exciting things are planned, and I'm not looking at a day beyond that. And as you can see, this brand puts out some truly fun and colorful watches. I mean, just look at that amazing gradient on that dial. That is so cool. So it looks like the indices are kind of raised up on a clear surface. You can see some shadowing around them. This is such a cool looking effect on this watch. I love the handset and the shape of the case. This watch just looks amazing. Then there's the watermelon watch that they put out. I don't know what series any of these were. I guess I should have taken notes on that. And then there's the pizza watches. Hilariously, my favorite is the Midnight Series O2 watch, of course. But, I mean, look at how great that looks. Oh, that is so cool. It's very Smith's PRS looking. And those watches have a 37mm case size, a height of 12mm, a lug-to-lug of 46mm, a lug width of 18mm. The crystals are sapphire, they have 100 meters of water resistance. The movement inside them is an SW210-1, and they retail for $900, but I think a lot of their pieces are sold out, unfortunately. The next article I have comes from Revolution Watches, and this is about a watch that Rado has put out. It's a rounded, square-shaped watch, but that's not what's most interesting about it. See, Rado has teamed up with Kanehiko Morinaga, and they've come up with a clear dial that has a photochromic treatment, so it changes color according to the light it's in. These watches have a cool tech look to them, which is fitting for what they did with that dial. So crazy. And for skeletonized watches, these aren't bad at all. They've kind of subdued that skeletonization a little bit with what they did with the dial. And it's just not this big, noisy, loud mess that hides the hands so you can't even tell the time. It's a little bit more subtle than what you usually get with skeletonized watches. The case size on these is 38 millimeters. The height is 9.7 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 44.2 millimeters. The movement inside these watches is a Rado R734. And these watches retail for $2,700. So they're a bit on the spendy side. Next up we have an article from Hodinkee. And in this article, they're discussing some G-Shock watches that have really cool gray cases on them. But the most interesting feature on these is the entire dial lights up. So it's kind of like they're Indiglo. I really like the colorway of these watches. Sometimes Indiglo or glowing dials like this have kind of an off-putting palish greenish color to them. But these don't look bad at all, at least in the pictures. Again, I love the gray color of the cases and the straps. And this line consists of 3 different designs. And hilariously, if you know me at all, it's strange that my favorite one of the 3 is the busiest one. The crystal on these is mineral. The module inside them is the 5522. They have 200 meters of water resistance, and these pieces sell for $110. Next up we have a watch that was featured in both Deployant and Time & Watches. And these articles discuss the Louis Erard Avant-Garde watch with the Tourbillon. So you've probably seen the Avant-Gardes, but I haven't seen one with a Tourbillon before. That was new to me. I love the Louis Erard Avant-Garde watches. They are so cool. So crazy unique and fun. I mean, just look at the colors and the hands. Wow, just wild. Not to mention that case. The case on these is really cool. I'm not really sure about the Tourbillon, but at least they made it look like part of the design. It kind of complements the dial that's below the 12 o'clock, and they made sure that there was a fun, whimsical hand on the Tourbillon. So they're actually using it as a sub-seconds complication as well, which is kind of cool. It's crazy to see a watch this expensive on a NATO strap like that. Or at least a nylon strap. The cases on these watches is 40 millimeters. The height is 11.8 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 47 millimeters. The lug width is 22 millimeters. But what's cool, if you look in the pictures, is the strap they have it on kind of disguises the lugs. So it almost looks like these watches have a hinge with a fixed ring on it. The movement inside these watches is a BCP T02 caliber. They're limited to only 78 pieces, and they retail for over $17,000. The last article I have comes to us from Time & Tide Watches, and this is about the Exit watch, which was put out by William Wood. I've not heard of that brand before, or that name. These watches are in a fun green colorway, both the bezel and the dial. But the fun doesn't stop there. Look at those indices. Those are super cool. And it's got what would normally be a date window, but look closer. It actually is a day window, and inside it are pictures of a figure depicting it engaging in all kinds of different activities throughout the week. And look at the cool shape of that window. Why don't brands do fun stuff like that with date windows? Instead of day, you could put date up the side and make it a cool shape like that. Make it look like it was something that was designed and not just an afterthought. But this watch is super fun. I love those little pictures. At least for the first few weeks, I would be constantly checking every day to see what picture was in the window. They ship on a matching green rubber strap that has some interesting texture embossed on it. These watches have 41mm cases. The height is 13.8 millimeters, so they're a wee bit tall. They have a lug-to-lug of 46 millimeters and a lug width of 20 millimeters. The crystal is sapphire, and they have 100 meters of water resistance. Inside these watches is a Sellita SW220, and they retail for almost $3,000. Yeah, that's quite a bit for kind of a gimmicky, yet fun, whimsical watch. I don't know. I feel like closer to 1,000 would be good, but maybe it's the name. Maybe this is a designer. I guess I should have done some digging, shouldn't I? Oops. But they're super fun watches. So there you have it, a whole bunch of fun, super colorful watches, and you're now sort of caught up on watch news. Thanks for watching.